rock. On Talk, ride with us. Glad to hear y'all dropped in. On Talk, slide with us. Walt and Dave get locked in, and let's go.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dave and Walt coming back in 2025. How you doing, Walter?
Doing good. How you doing?
Good, man. We had a nice little Seahawk legend dinner over the weekend before the Rams game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. Good catching up with a couple of guys. Steve Hauschka out there.
Steve Hauschka. You know, when did kickers get bigger than us, man? Is he about your age?
Yeah, maybe a couple of years older.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he came like 08 maybe. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know. He looks young.
Yeah. Little baby face.
And then,
no, man, it was good. You know, it was good. Yeah. Good meeting up with the guys and then going into, seeing the Seahawks win, in LA. Obviously it was hoping it was in better circumstance. But it's one of those things, though. We had opportunities and, we missed them, but I think it's promising for where we're going, though.
Yeah. Well, they did rest some of their guys, so but it's still a win. And gosh, we finished with 10 wins. I mean, that's great for a brand new coaching staff. I mean, I would say a pretty new roster,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to learn from the season, though. I mean, there was times where we were playing really good and we thought, could have been, playoff competitors. And then there was some games that were in there. It was like, what's going on? Just I think more or less just trying to figure out some of those guys, the coaching staff. But I think it's something that they can build on, moving forward. Like you said, coming in getting 10 wins. You hate to see a 10-win, team that doesn't make the playoffs. That's always a tough one. But the NFC has been tough this year, and so you really had to take advantage of all those games. Like we had games where they were right in our hands and we could have won. I think that obviously we look back, that Giants game was a big one that kind of hurt us there. We kind of fell asleep at the wheel, and it came back and it bit us and put us in the circumstance that we're in now.
Well, I'll tell you, in the category of some things that we could do better, our road record was 7-1.
Yeah, that's big.
That's big, but our home record was not big.
Yeah,
and that's not Seahawk football. I mean, that's that's one of those things where when we looked at, like, for instance, we were looking through the schedule at the beginning of the year, and we were doing wins and losses. We were predicting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we put a lot of weight on playing at home against some of these teams that just didn't come to fruition.
Yeah. No, not at all.
That to me is, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was, there was games that we should have won, and there's games that we thought we were losing and end up winning. Right. And so I'm getting hijacked.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
And you say go Hawks.
No, it's just wants to rub Daddy's beard. And okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that I don't know. Maybe sometimes you just get a little bit too comfortable with something that you take for granted. Like, okay, we got a home game. We're good at home. We're tough to beat at home. And it just just don't. It's all right. Hey, let her have fun. Hey, it's our first show back. We got a lot of graces. We're 2 weeks off and been sitting around and enjoying life a little bit. That's good.
Hey,
but yeah, that home field advantage is just something that you take for granted. I think, being a Seahawks player.
Well, especially with the 12th man there, right? I mean, it's kind of one of those things that you expect that we're going to play hard at home. The fans are going to be behind us. Opponents know that it's going to be tough coming into Seattle. They always hear it going through the course of the year. And then, we gave away some of those games that were very uncharacteristic of how we played at home. There's been talks about how it's not been the same atmosphere. Again, it could be for a variety of different reasons. But, it's one of those things where when you're able to put 7-1, road record together, I think that's something great to be able to build off of that resilience as a team. It's kind of you versus the world type of situation mentality. we could have easily been a 12-win team, if we take a couple more wins at home, though, and, really, knocking at the door and really making this push, for the playoffs here. Which, again, I don't think there's a clear-cut dominant team. I mean, Lions played a great game, the other day against the Vikings there. But, I think there was opportunity for us to make the run, and we didn't capitalize on those opportunities when they presented themselves.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I was reading a lot of posts by the 12s about season ticket holders selling off their tickets, which is something I've never heard of.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and maybe the money is so good that they could make money selling those things. I don't know, but hey, let's bring in one of your teammates from that Super Bowl championship team. We got Jerron Johnson coming in, JJ, and I was looking at his bio, and that cat was born my rookie year. It's like, I don't feel that old until I started hanging out with you guys. And then
that was a great year.
It was a great year. It was see, and even Walt wears his throwback hat for me to make me feel at home.
It's for you, Dave.
I appreciate you guys.
What's been going on, JJ? What you been up to?
Nothing much, man. We got the Bellflower Buccaneers, man, football organization. And then we have my partner and I started Just to Succeed. Another geared towards youth. It's kind of still on the up and up. We're still getting all the wrinkles and everything out of that. So really just pouring back into the youth, man, and trying to win me a championship at the Pop Warner level. I never did it.
There you go.
I've won at every level except Pop Warner. I lost Pop Warner. I lost the championship 3 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
And I told the kids, man, I'll never forget that. You'll never forget those losses. So I'm chasing my Pop Warner championship.
There you go. Yeah.
Hey, in our previous show, JJ, we just had Thurmond Thomas on, and Thurmond and I, we played together in the Hula Bowl, and that's where our careers deviated. But I wanted to ask what it was like to be 4 years in a row in the Super Bowl. That what an achievement. We had opportunities to get there a few times, but what an achievement. But he's still chasing his first Super Bowl, I think, too. So he's hoping that the guys do it this year.
Yeah, no, we made it to the semifinals. We had the lead all the way up until the last 5 minutes of the game, and it went bad from there. So,
how old are you?
So I had the 12U. I'm gonna stay. My son was only 11, playing up at 12, so we're gonna stay at 12U, and I'm gonna help out with the 13U. If anybody's watching in the area, Bellflower area, we need kids, we need coaches. So please reach out. Bellflower Buccaneers Instagram.
Are you guys going into like a flag 7-on-7 in this off season here?
Or? I'm gonna do 4 vert. Through Sarah High School, my buddy over at Sarah High School in Gardena. I'm gonna help him out, and I'm gonna get into. I'm full fledged with it now. I was kind of my boy. He started the Bellflower League. My best friend from high school. He started the league. He's the commissioner. I mean the president, and he like, man, come help me. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. And then I'm like, all right, I'll come coach. And now I'm the vice president. So
okay, there you go. Yeah.
I went from just all right, I'll come coach to now I'm the vice president.
I'm running it all, yeah.
And I enjoyed it, man. I had fun with it. I tried to start off with the gentle parenting, gentle coaching style. And they didn't react well to that, so we had to turn it up a little bit and take it kind of old school.
Yeah, they understand, they get it. You know, you out there, you it's physical. They obviously respect you guys for the work that you've been able to put in through the course of your career. So I mean, they understand and see it, and so it's like, hey, my mom and dad are gonna talk to me nice and gentle. Like I
No,
need
so
push me a little
that's
bit more.
a couple of the parents were like, "Cause they, like, at home he don't get it." So I'm like, all right. They gave it. So a couple of parents were like, "Do your thing." I'm like, bet. Cause I mean, I
Yeah,
don't gentle parent with my own kid.
yeah,
So it's like I'm gonna respect your kid, but I'm gonna demand a lot of him.
yeah,
And when they don't do what they're supposed to do, there's accountability, and I'm gonna
yeah.
hold them accountable. But the group of kids I had, man, I had a lot of first year players, and I feel like we exceeded our expectations, honestly.
Stepping up. You's already there.
Sure.
So you already got the taste of the championship. The kids got the taste of the championship that are coming back. So now now
I
it's the
got
small things, right?
I have to get one, man.
Yeah.
I have to, and it's bad because I won high school, I won college, won NFL, and I'm chasing this Pop Warner championship, dog. It's like I have to get it.
There you go. Yeah.
So
You been watching the Hawks lately? Yeah. What do you think of the season and the team?
Um, I didn't watch as much, but every chance I got, I watched. I think the defense found that trade for the backer. What is it, Ernest?
Middle
Um,
backer. Yeah.
yeah, the middle backer. That was a big time trade, man. And I feel like the defense played pretty well at the end. Jay Reed, he went on a tear at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Big Cat, that front balled out, and then the secondary, man, that secondary is legit. So the defense, I feel like the defense played well. Offensively, I mean, they weren't happy with the production, so you could see the changes they made. But Gino, man, I feel like Gino has really done a great job in the last couple of years. Jackson Smith and Jigba has come alive. Now, if they could keep the running backs healthy,
Yeah.
and I feel like they got to address some things up front on that offensive line.
that's it.
Uh,
That,
but
that's,
that's
the
the
biggest,
that
that's the biggest hole right
you
now.
say that every year, though, right?
Every year.
that
Every year
that
going back to Russ running for his
Yeah, I
life.
mean, even well, I think when I first got up there, we had some offensive linemen that were kind of back end, but that were holding it down, and then it kind of got mixed up in there. I know Spotcock can probably lay us down on who was that front starting that front five back in 2010.
Yeah, so I mean, but a 10-win season, like you guys mentioned earlier, 10-win season for a first-year head coach is pretty impressive, and usually 10 wins to get you in the playoffs, man. Um,
Usually, yeah.
so it's just unfortunate. Hey, and this strength of schedule thing, is that new, or has it always been that?
I think they probably always had it to some capacity.
Because
Well, I think the way it's determined now with all of the statistics that they have and the way they can grind it down to third down conversion percentages. I don't know what they all use. Just like the PFF, Walt and I and who is it? We were trying to figure out how they determine PFF.
Oh yeah, it's just like some random
Michael Durrell,
statisticians. Yeah,
our rookie tackle. We're trying to figure out how do they figure out what PFF is, and what we found out is that it's a bunch of cats that don't know nothing about football that vote on it.
and they
just
sit
running stats. Yeah,
punch a bunch of numbers in.
Yeah,
yeah. So everyone's they're not watching. You can't. There's no way you're watching all that type of film from each individual player to really determine that. Yeah.
People voting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah,
So,
but
Yeah, with the strength of schedule though, I think with us in the Rams, I mean, we need that New York game. That was a big one, and then we lost to that Buffalo, and they beat Buffalo late in the season too.
yeah, like you guys mentioned, man, the home games. That Walt, we got to take care of the link. Though, right then it was a Century Link.
Yeah.
You got to take care of the games at the link, and that crowd and the atmosphere. It was like it just did something to you, man. It gave you superpowers.
Yeah.
You remember that, they can't hold me back. When that song come on, it's over with.
Yeah.
Like, like that song come on, everything was over. So, and then some road teams came in and their fan base kind of took over. That was surprising, man. So
This past season, yeah.
we got to win those home games, man. And it was a reverse. It's always been a reverse. It was a struggle, especially going to the East Coast or going to the different time zones for us. It was a struggle to win. But home, man, you got to take care of home, and that really was the difference in the season, man. Not protecting the home field, and that's what kind of probably cut us short for a year.
Yeah,
But
well,
I think they have some great pieces in place. For sure, need to add. I feel like add on the offensive line, um, and just get more depth and get guys healthy again on that D line, because the D line was a little banged up. Get guys healthy, and I think we'll be good to go next year.
I think with Mafe and we get a solid season out of Uchenna staying healthy. Uchenna, as soon as he gets into a game, man, he's a presence.
Yeah.
He was out for 2/3 of the season. Literally, like the first play in, he's in the backfield. It's like he's an amazing force, man. If we can keep the D line, the defensive front solid and healthy, and make some moves I think we bring in a few veteran offensive linemen in the free agency market. I don't see us needing any other really holes filled other maybe another solid backer. But you're right, JJ. That one move we made was big
I
help.
like the rookie backer.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure of his name. Is it Knight or the rookie from UTEP? He
Mm.
played well. He played well, and I think another year under his belt. It just gives you more confidence going into it. And then I mean, you never know. We might hope my boy KJ, man, he get out of those red colors over there and come home
Come back to yeah.
yeah, do some coaching, man, and get the linebackers right. I don't even know who the linebacker coach is for the Hawks. Not throwing no shade, but I'm gonna go with my boy KJ.
Just saying.
That's my brother. So if we can get KJ back in the blue and green, man, it'll all make sense, man. Get that
Changing
defensive
things
line
up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I go back to the Kingdom days, and you didn't lose in the Kingdom either, and nobody wanted to play there. Nobody wanted to play there. And I'll mention too, JJ, since we've developed Hawk and all our social media. For those of you, we're Facebook Hawk Talk 12, Instagram Hawk Talk 12, YouTube Hawk Talk 12. We kept it the same, and come follow us. But we've seen a lot of posts of fans and 12s getting disgruntled because so many season ticket holders are selling their tickets off. To your point, like when we were in Arizona, bro, over half the stadium was like it was a Seahawks home game. When we were out about, like the night before doing those takeovers, there wasn't red anywhere, right? It was like we were in Seattle. And it's weird to see up in Seattle other teams' colors in the stands because that just didn't even happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, man. It was a big advantage for us, the false starts and just explosive plays were able to happen, and I feel a lot of it was off of. I mean, for sure, we had the schemes, we had the talent, but the energy that the fans bring, man, it really it gives you an extra boost of energy, motivation, or whatever it is, kind of outer body experience, so to say. So I mean, hopefully next year we can keep everybody from selling their tickets and keeping it blue and green in those seats.
So before we bring in our guest, and I think we've all talked about the offensive line. We'll start with Walter. What would you think is like the number one thing that we need to address? I know for a lot of folks, they know that you know I don't know what else he could do at quarterback other than throw for a ton of yards and throw for a ton of touchdowns. And I mean, he's under duress. But I mean, what do you think would be the number one thing that we need to focus on for our improvements for next year?
I mean, with Gino threw for franchise record passing yards,
Yeah,
touchdowns. I mean, 45, 4,600 yards, somewhere in there. And I mean, he did what he can do, right? I mean, obviously there's been some interceptions that's in there, and they even have a low interception margin as well. So it's like, it's not the quarterback play, but I think to the point that we've been speaking on already. Yeah, it's the offensive line. I mean, that's the biggest thing that sticks out because we're not running the ball efficiently to open up some of the play action pass and being able to take more advantage down the field. Um, and then even the pass protection gets kind of wonky, and he's looking for the hits, and he's not getting his full depth because the pressures. He's not able to step up into the ball because the pressure is getting back there to him, and he's having to throw the ball off his back foot, which again is going back down to incomplete passes or some of the interceptions and things of that nature there. But that seems like that's been the biggest thing. The gotta keep K Dub healthy. Obviously, Charbonnet comes in, and, great back, running hard. Love how he runs and plays. It brings like that old school different physicality back when Marshawn was back in the backfield there. Where he's looking for that contact. Yeah, I mean, on defense, the linebackers, and you could probably throw in an extra safety there. I mean, I really like the corners, how they played through the course of the season. I'm a big fan of Weatherspoon out there. He's one of the best in the league for being in the second year. I think Woolen had a better year than he had last year, and that was because he was injured the back end portion of that season there. I mean, they're in a good spot. I think they more familiarity with the offensive scheme, defensive scheme. Obviously defense picked it up towards the back end of the season there, and you can see them gelling. You see them probably just have a different understanding of the defense and what's being called and required of them. Having like you said, Nwosu coming back in there, we peaked at the right time. That's when you want to peak. We played some good football, but it's like we just let some of those games go from some of these different, mishaps and errors that we should have walked away with these wins.
Yeah, and I think Woolen, he made some great plays, and then he had some lapses. I think he needs to be a little more consistent. Yeah. And I think I think he even got benched for a little bit, if I recall. And like through the first quarter of one of the games, and then came in and made some big plays. Yeah. And then seemed to lag on one play and kind of blew a coverage. But so JJ, any other glaring things you think that we need to address next year?
I just think offensively, man, you got a defensive minded head coach. You know what he wants to do: run the ball and play some tough defense. So, up front, like I said, that O line, I don't, know where, but get stronger in the interior, and it starts up front on both sides of the ball, man.
Yeah.
So, stop the run and run the ball. I think they average 95 or 96 yards a game. You got
total rushing offense.
Say what now?
You did total rushing offense?
Yeah. Like average for the year. So like Walt said, those two backs, man, it's a good 1-2 punch. If you could keep Walker healthy, and Charbonnet's a good spell back. So he doesn't have to carry the whole load all season long. I like that. I like the pieces that we have in place. Just need to add a couple more. And once again, first year head coach, he's going to be better next year. He's going to learn from his mistakes. The defense picked it up at the end of the year. They're starting to gel. They, like Walt said, they're getting more familiar with what's expected of them and the weaknesses of the defense. Like, everybody was so, all you guys do is run cover three. All you do is run cover three. We knew where we can be beat in that cover three.
Yeah.
Right. So it was, we knew the strengths, we knew the weaknesses. So that defense, his defensive scheme, they have to learn that. They have to grow through that. And yeah, I mean, I think a couple pieces here and there, man, we'll be good to go.
Yep, and I don't have anything to add to that. I agree. And so there's a couple of times, guys, where we couldn't remember some of the guys' names. Let me introduce our 12th guest, who is going to know every cat's name that's on that starting roster and backup roster, and get his assessment. I think waiting in the wings is Brendan Spockhawk and his dad.
He will.
Roland. Yeah,
he will.
Hawk. They're both with us. How you guys doing?
Good. Can you guys hear us?
Can
Yeah.
hear you fine, buddy. So,
All right,
All
cool.
right, great.
all right, Brandon, the floor is yours, man. We're wanting the breakdown. Give us the numbers. Give us what you see as far as the season went, where we shined, where we lacked, and what we need to do to be better.
Hey, Brandon, real quick, how many rushing yards do we average a game?
I think you were right. I think it was right about 96, 97 yards per game. Yeah, and I think the most interesting part about that is just the yards per carry, right? You can get away with not rushing for a lot of yards as long as you rush for the yards you need when you need to, and we didn't do that. But the way I see it, the defense made big strides this year. Last year they were, I think, bottom 5 in EPA per play. This year they were right around the top 10. You wouldn't expect a defense to go from one of the worst to one of the best in one season. That doesn't happen very often in this league, especially when you have a lot of the same players. So I'm encouraged by that. I just think the main problem that we ran into this season was we had an offense that was put together poorly. And what I mean by that is this offense passed the ball at a higher rate than any Seahawks offense ever. We passed the ball at a higher rate than everyone except for the Bengals and I think the Bears. And the issue with that is the predictability. Like, I believe, and there's been some debate on the exact numbers, but when we line up in shotgun, it's 90% pass. And when we line up under center, it's 90% run. It's really hard to get away with that in the NFL. Teams are going to realize what you're doing.
Agreed.
Yeah, and like our play action almost always went to the right side or the weak side, and our actual runs always went to the strong side. The offense was kind of running away where I feel like the coaches just thought the players were so good they could succeed no matter what. And that doesn't work very well in the current NFL. The teams are too similar. So what we need to do is build an offense that has some misdirection in it, has some friction in it, where you can show one thing and do another thing. And I think that'll, even more than the offensive line, fix the issues that we had this season.
Just straight, more in the play calling and types of plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like the defense just has our number. Like the defense they're watching film.
Yeah.
I mean, for everyone knows, like there's a bunch of different personnel within the organizations that are studying first down plays. Like these guys are watching, past 4 games, past 8 games, and we come back with a binder thick on first down, second down, third down plays. And so like the numbers of statistics of what Brandon's talking about here, like if you see them under center, 90% run, everyone's in the box. we know the run's coming. You can be a little softer on the pass. If they're in shotgun, a defensive line, they're pinning their ears back. They're getting right after the quarterback to the point. So, like, I mean, from a defensive standpoint, that's why it looked like we struggled so much is because the defense knew what was going on. Or they had a good probability of what we were going to run on offense, making it tougher for offense to succeed.
I'll tell you, Brandon. Go ahead, JJ.
No, I feel a lot of our games we're playing from behind. Does that like mess up those numbers? Because Gino, a lot of the games you get into, we were down 14 or double-digit leads, so Gino had to kind of throw the ball. So do you think those numbers are kind of misconstrued because of that?
In some games, absolutely. There were games like that, like the Packers game. You're down 14-0 before you can blink, and then you're kind of forced to do certain things. But then you have other games like the Vikings. That game was consistently close, and you still didn't really run the ball in that game. Now, some people were saying maybe our running backs were hurt and we really didn't have a choice, and maybe, but you can find other games with a similar cadence as well. And I think that when you really look at this, when you really take a look at the way the offense was run, the thing that really stands out is they were one of the most pass-happy teams in the league, but their play action rate was bottom 5, so they did almost no play action, and they were number 1 in shotgun rate, and they were right near the top of the league in terms of like dropbacks. So watch a team like the Packers. Look at how easy they make it for Jordan Love. How many times he just gets the ball, turns, and throws it right to a player in the flat that's open. And so much of what that team does with Jordan Love, who most people would agree is a good quarterback, they still make it easy for him. we never made it easy for this offense. The players had to execute at such a high level to do anything. And that's the part where I feel like even more than the poor offensive line play, there was just a disconnect there with you had an offensive coordinator who's of course gone now, who was used to coaching at Washington the last 2 years, where he had the best offensive line in college football. They won the award at least once, maybe twice, maybe the best receivers in college football. He had a quarterback that almost won the Heisman.
Yeah.
So he just was, I think, on some level expecting his players to just be able to execute no matter what he gave them. And that's not how it works in this league.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Brendan, you mentioned one thing, and as soon as you said it, I just immediately visualized it, and that is that we didn't have any misdirection at all. Everything we did, wherever that ball was going, that's where it went. And I started thinking of teams like Kansas City that'll have everybody going one way and then a reverse pitch out to the back going the opposite direction. You get everyone flowing one way, and then let your talent, make a play against a single player. And we virtually had none of that. And I've watched the majority of the games this year. So that's actually a pretty astute point that you made. And people maybe don't realize, or maybe think that's kind of like trick plays. No, it's so we're not so predictable, so they don't just flow right and and keep them at bay a little bit. I think that was one of the best points.
Yeah, I think if you look back, like the 2 games we played Arizona, and we won both those games, obviously. But I'm looking at Budda Baker in those 2 games, and Budda Baker's one of the best. We all know that. But so many times before the snap in a run play, he's sprinting up to the line before the ball snapped, like he knows what's coming. And he's constantly flowing to where the ball is. And part of that's because Budda Baker's a great player, but part of it's because I think we're making it easy for these players to know what's coming based on formation and alignment. And that's half the battle right there.
And guys watch film.
Yeah, like if the stats, like Walt said, we're going to be in meetings and they're going to tell us, you get this formation, it's 90% run. If they go play action, they're going to play action to the weak side. So as a secondary or defender, you go play action this way. Oh, it's a pass. We're going to get up out of there. Linebackers are flowing to the pass and just getting to their spots and everything. So if that's the case, I'm not watching film. I'm not looking at the stats. If that's the case as a defense, heck yeah, we're going to be all over it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like the Niners. Like they know 75% of their runs are going behind
Trent Williams.
Everyone's going to the left side. You already know, and they're averaging like 5 yards a carry. On the other side, it's like 2.5, 3 yards a carry going to the right side.
But I mean, with San Fran, you got a lot of misdirection as well.
Yeah.
You got
a lot of misdirection.
Coming here, Debo coming back, this, that, playing with the eyes, and you have to be able to kind of do that. So,
which is interesting because you're talking about eyes of being aware where the playmakers are on the field, right? And Niners had a bunch of playmakers, but we have a bunch of playmakers. I mean, you have DK out there, you have Jigba, you have Tyler. I mean, Font comes out there and makes some plays, and you have the running back. So we have weapons to do the exact same thing that some of these other teams are doing, but like to the point where we don't have that in the arsenal, or we do have an arsenal. They're just not calling it properly within that situation, just getting stuck in this college level thought mindset of calling plays. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. I mean, we're playing chess out here, and it's kind of a situation of disrespecting the opposing team's defense, saying that, hey, they're not going to study on what we're doing. Like, they're not going to watch film. They're not going to, these guys aren't going to be able to pick on what's going on. And I think you kind of see that situation taking, hey, Brandon's doing stats. Hey, these guys are smart out here taking those stats in and knowing that, hey, 2nd and 7, hey, they're still going to run the ball here. It may be a pass down. They're going to still run the ball. I mean, you're just starting to get better on those odds of what they're looking to do, especially based off of predictability.
It can also be a lack of self-evaluation as well, and not really checking out, running your own numbers and stats, like during a bye week, kind of seeing what you did well and what you didn't do. But on another note, you mentioned Tyler Lockett. Jackson Smith, he had a tremendous year. I feel like Tyler was underused this year.
He was.
Like Tyler, he still has some left in the tank, and it was like it's like it's ready. They're ready for him to pass the keys off to Jackson Smith, but it's like, why not use all three? So I mean,
He only had 49. He had 49 receptions this year.
yeah, he had three good receivers at UW and was able to get all of them the ball. Of course you're gonna have your top guy, but I just feel like Tyler was a little underused this year.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brendan?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get through your progressions when the offensive line isn't very good. So when you're talking about most of these plays,
He's a
your
deep
first
threat,
read-
right?
yeah, your first read's going to be JSN. Your first read's going to be DK. Your first read's going to be very rarely is it going to be Tyler Lockett, because while he still can play, I think that there's some hesitancy in feeding him the ball a lot because he doesn't have great yards after the catch skills the way that DK and JSN
He's
can.
hitting the ground.
Oh yeah, he's down. Yeah.
Tyler don't want to get hit, man. He's grabbing that thing and getting to the ground.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you look at a team like the Lions. If Lockett was on that team, he'd probably get more targets because they have an offensive line that's really good, and their quarterback can go through his reads. And our quarterback kind of has to go one read or two reads and get the ball out.
Yeah.
Or take off.
Or or get sacked. So Brent, we were talking about the defense and in our astute panel here. We couldn't remember the name of our linebackers, so I know you're gonna know who they are. Who's the cat we traded for, and who's our rookie?
Oh, well, the guy we traded for is Ernest Jones, the fourth.
Yeah.
Traded for him from the Titans.
Uh-huh.
I had that one.
Yeah.
Ernest. I thought it was his last name though.
Yeah, all right, we got it.
And the rookie is Tyrese Knight from UTEP.
You got Knight, right?
Mhm.
All right, JJ's on it. JJ's on it.
I didn't remember his name fully, but I knew
Oh, okay.
Knight, last name. But yeah, I feel like he had a couple. I know he got rookie of the week a couple times or once, but he
one.
played. Oh yeah, he played well. And that jump the next year, the game slows down a lot more.
Yeah.
And it's just you learn. It's like Walt said, you kind of learn the defense more. So I feel like his game will be that much more advanced. And hopefully, I believe Ernest he's up for a contract, correct? So
Yes, he is a free agent in March unless we extend him before then, which I imagine we're going to make every effort to. But we'll see.
yeah, to trade for him,
They need to. I mean, he came in mid-season, right? 10 games. I mean, he was a thoroughly tackler, 98, and then you had two DBs lead the way with Julian Love and Witherspoon.
I like Julian Love.
So you have two DBs that are leading tackles on a team, and the midseason linebacker came in there, so they better resign him. I mean,
I like Julian. I feel like the other safety spot, he was kind of hurt. Number 2,
Rayshon.
Yeah, he was kind of hurt throughout the year. But did we sign him to a 1 year or a multi-year deal?
It was a 2-year deal. I don't think he'll be here next year. I think Kobe Bryant kind of pretty firmly
Kobe Bryant
took
had a
good spot.
Yeah, he
played really good.
Yeah, Kobe had it. So that's what it's the guys I'm forgetting. We have some good pieces in place, man. Defensively, I like the structure of the defense. My boy Jay Reed, man, he had a big time year to be the old cat in the D line room now.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes back next year.
So
he's under contract?
Free agent. He's a free agent.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid. Brandon, give us your assessment of the defense. You can start with the front, linebacking core, and our DBs, and let us know what you think our strengths are and where our weaknesses are there.
Well, I'd say that in terms of the primary players, the strength is probably the defensive line by the end of the year. I mean, Leonard Williams is probably the best interior defensive lineman in the league right now, except for maybe Dexter Lawrence. Like, he had a phenomenal year. I think people don't even really understand how good it was. Like, to get to 11 sacks from the interior, that's very rare.
Yeah.
And for him to also add in every game he's making plays against the run as well. It's really crazy what he was doing out there. And then you've got a deep edge room. I think that the main issue on the defense is just depth. Like, we don't have much of anything on the defensive line behind the top 3 guys. Didn't have anybody we really trusted to give significant snaps after Williams, Reed, and Murphy. And I'd also say probably at cornerback now, because we saw in that Rams game when we had a couple corners get hurt and we were trying to put guys in the game, they just it's an issue. So I'm mostly thinking about it in terms of depth right now. I don't think it would be a bad idea to maybe go after that one like superstar edge rusher, because that's something that we haven't had in a while. We've had star edge rushers, we had great edge rushers, but we haven't had that TJ Watt level player, that Micah Parsons level player yet. But overall, in terms of the top end of the defense, I'm feeling pretty good.
Have we ever had that big household name edge rusher?
Patrick
We
Kearney. Patrick Kearney.
yeah,
Jacob
yeah,
Green.
'cause
Mm.
You gonna beat man.
you guys going back a little bit. You guys going
Don't
back a
even
little
start.
bit.
You a little
Don't
deep
even
there.
start.
I became a Seahawk fan in 2011.
He's a ring of honor.
Bring on.
Yeah, hey, okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm going for my time here. We always had the underdog, so to say, man. But they
Yeah.
were ballers, and when it got after it, the Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill,
Chris Clements, he was
yeah,
holding.
Clemens,
Mhm.
those were the edge rushers. Bruce Irvin was another one. So it
Who,
just
who do you think we draft first round in?
what
Brendan?
position?
I mean, it's really hard to evaluate that stuff. We still got to get through free agency. I think that there's a real good chance that we might go after a cornerback. Mike likes those cornerbacks. I think that he would love to turn Devin Witherspoon into what he got from Kyle Hamilton over in Baltimore, because he turned Kyle Hamilton into a real monster over there. I think he looks at Witherspoon and thinks, I think I could do some of the same things with him, but I would need to free him up by getting another starting cornerback in here.
Putting him more like in safety position.
Yeah, just moving him all over the place. That's what the Giants did with Julian Love. He played everywhere. He was playing outside corner, slot corner, safety, linebacker. He was all over the place. But nose tackle, I think that nose tackle is going to become a little bit of a need here, especially because we don't have tremendous depth on the defensive line. And if you could find a way to address the interior offensive line, I think that would be great too. It's not going to be easy. I've already started doing preliminary draft work. I can tell you this is a very weak draft for centers in particular. It would not surprise me if no centers go until day 3, actually. I think it really is that weak. But there are some interesting guards. There's Tyler Booker out of Alabama. He's going to be one of the top guys. There's going to be a couple of tackles that get converted to guard. Guys like Will Campbell could be. Guys like Jonah Savinaya out of Arizona could get converted to guard. That might be the main focus, because in the modern NFL, where you want these athletic guards that can play on the move, what you do a lot is you go get a tackle from college and move him to guard, because those are the guys who can play in space.
Yeah. You think we drafted quarterback at some point?
I was going to ask.
It's not my favorite quarterback class. I've looked at it. There's a couple of guys that I like. Like, I like Cam Ward, but he's going to go very high in the draft. We're not going to get him. I liked Cade Klubnik, but he's going back to college. A lot of these guys going back to college. They stay in college longer now because of the NIL money, I think.
Yeah, because they take a pay cut going to the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't. He hasn't declared yet because he's still playing. But Ewers, what do you think?
He gets hurt too much, man. He gets hurt every year. And the thing is, it sounds like he's not coming out. Apparently, he's got like an NIL deal worth about $7 million on the table from like Vanderbilt or something, and that's going to be more money than he makes in the NFL. So I don't think he comes out. I like Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. He's kind of fun. Maybe a day 3 pick, but it's not a quarterback class.
Class 2, huh?
Yeah, that I'm like really excited about going after personally.
So then we could possibly find someone in free agency.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins can barely use his leg anymore. He's going to be out there throwing from one of those walkers.
I would like for him to, because I was going to ask the same question Walt asked. I would like for him to bring someone in and kind of groom him, because I seen that they want to extend Geno, which I'm fine with. Gino, he's playing good ball, but I would like for him to bring a young guy in and kind of groom and sit behind Gino for a couple years, and eventually Gino kick rocks, and let the young guy do his thing. So
Yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
sometimes some of the quarterback, I think that's for any position, is that you sometimes you just need a fresh chance. And we saw that with Sam Darnold. You go into a program that gives you the reins, believes in you, and you've got some firepower, and all of a sudden he's like MVP type season, where he's been in also around for the handful of years. This guy is a backup and not doing really anything. Fields going over to Pittsburgh, and he started him off balling, and then they turned it over to Russell. But at least he was playing some football. But you just never know where a young person's going to go, and maybe just get a fresh start. And with all the weapons we have, it might be a good opportunity for somebody.
Yeah. If we're gonna go that route and get a quarterback to groom behind Gino, there are two guys currently in the NFL that I'd be interested in maybe going after. There's Will Levis, that terrible situation in Tennessee. You get him out of there, see what's up. Maybe you can get him back on track. And the other guy would be Hendon Hooker, who Detroit drafted, thinking that Jared Goff was going to be out of there after a year, and then Jared Goff started playing so good they decided, hey, this is our guy now, and Hendon Hooker's just sitting there on the bench waiting for his chance.
is
Those would
that
be the
the
two guys.
that's the one from Tennessee?
Yes, yes,
He got hurt, right?
yeah. He got hurt at the end of his Tennessee career. He got drafted still. He's healthy now. It's been years since that injury, but he just doesn't get to play because Jared Goff has been good.
I'm not mad. I liked Hooker in college, so I'm not mad at that.
Strong arm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
What are
I
your
like
thoughts?
I
So
like
we had somebody Wolfie suggest that we get rid of Woolen. What do you feel?
Was he a Niner? It sounded like he's a Niner fan.
Yeah, maybe he's not.
He's like, we need DBs. We're getting torched.
Yeah, I think there are some concerns with Woolen about not so much his ability, like his coverage metrics are still really, really nice. He's still a very good cover player overall. I think there's just some concerns about his ability to really lock in and focus. I'm a little wondering how much he wants to be great. Like it feels like ever since that rookie year where he played at an all-pro level, he's kind of been a little bit content. And I do wonder how we're going to be approaching that this offseason. We know that McDonald wants his defensive backs to be good at tackling, and Woolen has never been a good tackler. He's only played corner for a few years. He was a receiver for most of his career. I remember reading apparently during COVID, he was a receiver, and then he learned how to play cornerback in like this basically backyard football league, and he just kind of went from there. But he's not a good tackler. He's not good in run support. McDonald might be like, hey, I need guys who can do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if something happened with Woolen this offseason if he were moved to another team where his skill set can fit in a little bit better, because he's great in coverage, but that's not the whole game.
Yeah.
tackling is a 1-2 type of thing, man. So
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, especially, I mean, that's why he got the shoulder injury last year. So you hurt your shoulder, and then you for sure not want to get in it.
get a little.
Yeah.
He got hurt on Sunday tackling, right? He got hurt
right?
tackling and left the game. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like Reek, man. But yeah, you do have to tackle on defense. So, but I think he's a good piece to the defense when it does come to the pass defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you do have to help in the run support. With Spoon, I love the way Spoon plays the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's making tackles for losses, picks, sacks.
Yeah, I mean, he had 98 total tackles.
Yeah, he's just doing it all, man. So,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask the two of you guys, DBs, as we're talking about tackling, wanting to tackle, and of course, it's changed a lot. The rules have changed a lot. I see a lot of guys shying away from tackling. I see a lot of guys standing around, even just like a half a man away from the ball, and rather than like, especially with Legion of Boom and your guys' era of swarming and there was a hat on a dude. If you had a football in your hand, you're gonna get hit by a couple of people. But give us a name of a player that, man, you just did not, that you had tackled a couple of times and didn't want to tackle again. Is there anybody that comes to mind?
A person to tackle?
Yeah.
Fan of the year.
Hey man, being a middle free safety, anybody coming downhill, those are tough tackles all day.
Yeah.
Tough tackles all day.
Yeah. I mean, I just think of some of the guys, you know, I mean, you got
Dave, the hard tackles are the
250.
guys that are like 5'10", 5'11", like 5'11", 230. Those are the harder tackles. They already have a low center of gravity. They're tree trunks for legs.
Right.
I mean, a little taller once you start getting like 6 foot to 6'2", they're not easier tackles, but you got better leverage because they're taller. So it's more of a leverage thing.
So Dave, I can say from college, man, we played Turbo at Utah State, and we were beating them in the fourth quarter, and the coach still had me in it. We were beating them pretty bad. He still had me in the game, and I had to tackle him again. I'm like, dude, get me out the game. I'm tired of tackling this guy. Turbo with them big old arms, he ran so dang hard. I'm like, man, get me out the game, man. I'm tired of it. But that was one guy I can remember off the top of my head.
Well, hey guys, we're wrapping up at the end of another show, kicking off 2025. Brandon, I think, if the Seahawks were smart and listening to our show and listening to your show, that they should bring you in as a GM or an assistant GM. And
Exactly.
I'm telling you, bro.
I've been saying it for years.
So we were talking, and when you started breaking down, I saw JJ actually got him to do his monitor, man. He's listening to your assessment because you're so on point. But we really are glad that you've been able to join us a few times this year. We hope that next year you continue to shed light on this future of the Seahawks.
Dave, let me interrupt you here.
No, Dad, you got to talk about Metal Hawk.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just going to point out, though, Brendan actually has been approached by the Bleacher Report, and he has his own show starting tomorrow. He'll be on every Wednesday at 6 p.m.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
So they approached him. It's happened naturally for him. It's just incredible what he's done. I could never break down the numbers the way he does. Like I said, I'm a surface writer. I can tell you, I've been watching him since the beginning, but I can't get into the depth like you guys do.
Yeah.
But so he's going to be doing a whole new segment on Bleacher Report on Wednesdays at 6.
Well, yeah, you can't do it on Tuesdays, Brendan, because that's Hawk Talk. So
that's right.
We got to get you, keep you coming in. We appreciate you coming on. But Roland, real quick, tell us about Metal Hawk, and do you have anything new coming out? You did the Kingdom. Did that sell out?
I did the Kingdom for the Fans for Good charity. We sold quite a few of them. That part's done. I probably won't do anything. I usually do everything once a year.
Okay.
Usually right after Halloween into Christmas. I'll auction off a hand signed piece or whatever, but I hope to find something new to put in next year. Maybe a Space Needle with a 12th man flag on it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So that's that's still my fun thing. I haven't met players like I have in the past. I get to watch every game with the Oracle here. And I hear all this stuff as we're watching the games, and then I love the banter with you guys when he's talking, and I could never do that. I just think it's incredible the way you guys can break down the numbers.
Well, we appreciate you guys hopping in with us, of course, and as we get ready to wrap up the new season, we'll get you guys both in, and you can tell us about your new project. We'll get Brandon's assessment of our free agent moves and our draft moves, and we'll certainly keep bringing you guys in. JJ, tell us again where everybody can find you with your youth program. Where do people find you at?
It's Bellflower Buccaneers, Pop Warner, right here in California, Bellflower, California. And once we get the website up and rolling for Just to Succeed, J2S, then I'll share that as well and get that to you guys. But that's still up and coming. You're on
Instagram under that, right?
My name on Instagram is JUS_showoff. Brendan, you really impressed me, dude, and congrats on the Bleacher Report deal. Like Dave said, you grabbed my attention because I love football, hearing and talking ball, and you know what you're talking about. So congrats, man.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate that.
Walter's on his third sport, still not coaching football. He's coaching,
Hey,
golf
Walt,
with
man.
his wife.
Walt, come on down to Bellflower, man. We need some coaches, man.
Need any O-line help?
We'll take whatever we can get.
Hey, Walt, tell everyone where they can find you, buddy.
On X, Walt Thurm 3, Instagram King Walt 6, LinkedIn, Walt Thurmond III.
Right on. Hey, appreciate you guys. Hey, we're gonna keep doing this. We appreciate all you following us. We appreciate the 12s and their support. And go Hawks. We'll see you all next week.
Go Hawks.
Oh, keep your Brandon, keep your thing up.